Hello and welcome to Axis Experience Center in City of Mexico, Mexico. We're here to give you a short tour of our products and solutions. And with me I have Dan Vogel. He's our business development team lead, and he's gonna show you everything that you need to see in here. And then of course we're gonna show you more in details when you come visit us. You're welcome to visit us. Dan?
Yes, hello everybody, welcome to our Experience Center in Mexico City, and now let's rock here and I will show you a little bit of our stuff.
Let's go.
Okay, as you see here we have a really beautiful basically command center which we have created. We have in total 8 screens, big screens to really simulate a real life scenario as such. And in there we have our latest access camera station together with around 65 cameras. We have IP audio, we have of course our body-worn cameras together with different solutions based out of verticals, definitely, and all running in our beautiful access camera station. And as you see here, we can do a lot of things. We cannot, of course, show all the different cameras, but we have functionality together with our access license plate verifier, for example, an LPR solution. We have access control integrated with our own controllers, the A1601, or also the A1210 and the A1610 now, the new controllers already available in the market. And we can do also amazing things like our Smart Search 2. So let's jump right into our LPR solution. It's basically an analytic which is running on our cameras. We have several different analytics running on the cameras, even with artificial intelligence. And I will show you now how we can actually use our LPR solution directly in access camera station. First of all, as you can see, we have in the live view of the cameras directly the overlay of the license plate in itself. And this information as a metadata is injected basically into the recordings. So later on you can do a search. So you can either just search by the latest basically time frame, and you can also search specifically and filter just, okay, so what is my, for example, license plate or a license plate potentially which you are searching for, and then you can just type like a number or a combination of numbers and of course letters, and you will get the direct all the number plates which comply with this search which you are basically looking for. And if you then double click on any of these entries, directly the platform will jump into the result and you can reproduce the recording immediately. You can double check what has happened and of course verify that the person and the car which is supposedly entered into your parking lot or into your residential area, into your office buildings and so on, really is a car which should enter as such. We can even go a step further in combination with our access control and actually use the license plate as a verification. So instead of having a card, for example, or a QR code, you can also send, for example, an invitation to a potential customer or a visitor and register the license plate. And when this car actually is getting to your office, to the parking lot, it can automatically enter without any limitations. So this is super beneficial, and you could also do combinations for security. Imagine, for example, VIP CEOs or CTOs and so on, or in general higher top managers. And you could actually register the number plates and automate the access to the parking lot. Or for security, you can also do a multi-factor authentication where the initial step would be the license plate and the second authentication would be, for example, a card, a PIN code, a QR code, and so on. So you can do different kinds of combinations. Now, different kinds of functionality we have in Access Camera Station, for example, is our Smart Search 2. It is an algorithm based on AI, and it is super important in today's time to actually find object of interest in the fastest way. So one thing which you can do here based on AI and the object classification, you basically search for a kind of object you want to find within the recording, so it's a forensic search, and you can search either by people or also by vehicles. And you can do actually different types of vehicles like cars, like buses, or also motorcycles and so on. Then specify the color. In combination with humans, you can actually specify 2 types of colors, upper and lower closing. And with vehicles, you can specify one type of color. And then you basically search for the date or the time. So here in this case, we will search for the last 12 hours, and we will search for people in one camera. And now you get all the different hits directly with the color codes and the information where these people, for example, were. So here the algorithm on the AI is directly, as you see the image of the person in itself, and now you can directly, you get the hit in the recordings, or a clip in the recordings when this object entered into the live view of the camera, in the field of view of the camera. So we can do this also bigger, and now we reproduce this, and you see here it was a bicycle, and the yellow color, and you guys have directly the information which you were looking for. Yes. Access control. Very important functionality, and of course integrated also in this case to Access Camera Station, and I will show you now the functionality we have. This Access Camera Station is, and the access control we have is only compatible with our own controllers, and I will show you a little bit of different kinds of scenarios. So we have three different types of components. So basically we have the controller, which is a controller, of course, like a regular controller. You can have it for 2 doors, 2 Rex buttons, 2 different readers, or can also use up to 4 readers actually, with specifically the A1610. The A1210 is for 1 door, 2 readers, or 1 reader and 1 Rex, for example, or peer sensor. Then here you have an intercom, which can be used also with an integrated card reader, for example. So it can be combined with this controller, or also be used individually. And then here you have a traditional reader for cards and so on. So if I come with my card, as you can see here, for example, in the live view in our system, you will directly see we have live to the left side the camera, and on the right is the registration from me as a person on the database. And so the operator can in real time basically receive the information. The person in front of the camera, in front of the door, is in reality the person registered in the database, because you have the image, all the information in terms of the name and also the card ID and so on. Then secondly, what we can also do, we can actually just make a call. As you see now, the intercom, if I am potentially a guest, for example, the call enters here for the operators in the live view, and now I can answer the call. I have dual audio. I can directly communicate with the person, open the door, and basically have a general conversation. Yep. Now, this is important for the general security, and to have this kind of integration in real time for an operation point of view. Another thing is, in a forensic way, you want to be able to search for specific persons, or maybe make different kinds of reports, for example, time of attendance reports. So therefore, we have the possibility in this search area to also search for different kinds of, actually, let's see here now. So now in the last 48 hours, we are searching for all the people which actually entered into this specific entrance in our office. So here now I can search, for example, for my name. Now we see here, within the last 48 hours, how many times me as Dan Vogel has entered into this office, and I can just very quickly create a report, for example, based out of this information, or also for security reasons, I can just double click again, and I have immediately the recordings available, as you see here. And I can export the information, for example, with the incident, or if something happens, or just as an evidence that I, at this time of the day, entered into the office. So very quickly, very efficient. Again, within seconds, you get all the information. You can even create a report based on a week, on a month, for example, or per year, with all the history, how many times I actually entered into this specific door. Or you can also search for multiple doors, for example, if you have a bigger system with several controllers.
Now we're moving to our vertical solutions.
Correct. Let's see a little bit more into detail what kind of products and solutions we offer by a vertical or segment, you can say.
Let's go.
Let's go. So we can start maybe here a little bit of a more like retail area. You can say we have specific camera models for this section, and of course also type of POS integrations, for example, which exist in the market, but very specific M-series cameras with analytics integration, for example, Axis object analytics for the classification. So really nice, very a possibility to show the strengths of our portfolio in terms of products and in terms of solutions. We can also offer, for example, things like facial recognition here with our partner integrations like Hertha, which we have, or also integrated into a different VMS like Genetec, Milestone, ISS, all directly available in our experience center for you to see and to experience. Additionally too, we have our really amazing history from Axis. As you see here, we have the latest and greatest, not only in our experience center, the beautiful NetEye, the first IP camera which actually Axis released in 1996, which we have here. All our history before that with our print service, for example, and then a few other highlights of the first cameras, which H.264, for example, the first full HD camera, for example, or also the first PT set camera, which we have here actually together with an encoder, which came out together. So we have a little bit of information about the roots of Axis basically directly available here in the timeline together with some of our highlights of our products. If we go over here a little bit more into the smart city segment as such, or you can see that we have several different kinds of cameras, like our Q6010, for example, together with a PD set. Very common in today's time, especially in Latin America. It's a really nice solution, which we, for example, have here in Mexico City. You have our speaker system for pre-alerts, for example, or also the possibility to use public announcement systems, for example, together with our Audio Manager Pro as a software solution, or Audio Manager Edge, or you can also integrate them into other platforms on the market. And then together with video, with this combination, or also a panic button or intercom, for example, which can be installed on a pole. And all as such for a solution 100% Axis, or also in combination with 2N in this case, as we have it here. In there we have different kinds of analytics, for example, like loitering, which we have here available. So meaning if I am sitting here for a longer time, and people can loiter, for example, individually, also as a group of people, and we will hear an announcement, basically just a friendly reminder that the So as you heard just the announcement, for example, just a friendly reminder that the video surveillance is actually present and that the people are in a preventive way are not in any way destroying things, for example. So here, a very nice way to showcase smart solutions directly in our experience center in this area. Now let's get over a little bit here into the industry area with industry solutions. Thermal cameras, something really important within the industry for productions, or also for perimeters, of course. As you see here, we have a traditional thermal camera together with Axis Perimeter Defender, which we can use. And in this case, of course, primarily use case is for the perimeter, for longer distances, detection of humans and also vehicles. And then you can go over here with different kinds of solutions like our thermometric cameras. These cameras are capable of to measure the temperatures of surfaces or also of smoke or humid, basically, or smoke, basically. And with this solution, you have the possibility to actually, in different areas, we have 3 examples here, 3 different view areas, which individually can measure the temperature. This is not based for, or like, it's not a use case to monitor the temperature of humans as such. It is for the industry to monitor, for example, data centers or also other production lines, engines, electrical engines, transformators, for example. And so in this information, can be either injected into the live view of another camera, it can be also injected into a database, for example, or also in real time you can set here limits, and if, for example, an engine gets too hot or another type of production line, for example, gets too warm, the camera is capable of sending an alarm, for example, directly into a speaker, or also to deactivate the machine, for example, if it's physically connected with a I/O, for example, meaning the camera directly connected to a relay, or can stop a production line if it gets too warm, for example, or if there is any potential, for example, fire or anything else, can immediately create an emergency alarm and also evacuate, for example, the surrounding. So it is super, super powerful, this kind of cameras, and it's all integrated within one camera, and then it can be externally integrated into a VMS.
Surveillance, and you have been recorded.
It just shows the possibilities which we have with our different products as Axis, with cameras and also other devices we have in our portfolio. The possibility of integrating ourselves with other devices, for example, or also other platforms. So here in this use case, we can, for example, simulate to cover a wide area. It could be a fence, for example, also a restricted area in a production line, for example, or in other industry areas where humans are not allowed. And this, if anybody enters into this restricted area, for example, directly hearing this kind of information and an alarm not to enter into this restricted area, for example. So a very automated solution, standalone, which additionally can also, for example, create a push notification to an operator or send an alarm in itself to an operator to make this operator aware that there is a person entering into a restricted area. Okay. So now here we have a few highlights, for example, our Q62 cameras. This is the new version, the 25, and also our explosion protected cameras, the XP Q1785, really high-end type of devices specifically for the industry segment. And we can really show and highlight the capabilities of these two devices in a real-life environment, basically. See? Two end products. See? For the more residential area in itself, we have all our beautiful 2N intercoms and also the answering units in different kinds of types. And therefore, we can showcase here all different kinds of products from 2N, also with a beautiful IP style, brand new. The brand IP style with integrated readers, for example, for Bluetooth, so you can use virtual cards. It can be used for, again, for the residential areas or for offices, for example. And it's an all-in-one basic device with dual audio, with a high-end camera with 5 megapixels, and compatible with QR codes, with different types of physical cards or also virtual cards. And one of our most important areas within our experience center and the office in itself is our training room. Here we can hold, of course, we can provide training to up to 36 people. We can do individual trainings. Also, we have all our academy trainings available on our webpage. And so it's a really, really important part of Axis. We have a lot of knowledge to share, and we are holding here different kinds of trainings on a weekly basis. So this is an invitation to all of you, end customer or integrators. If you are in need for any trainings, we can hold them here in Mexico City, and it's available for all of you.
Okay, with this, we are going to finish this video, and we hope you enjoy it. Please come to Mexico. We'll see you here for more information about Axis products and solutions.
And me, Dan Vogel, thank you for listening. I'm based out of Mexico City, responsible for all Latin America. So whenever you would like to come and here visit our experience center, have a little bit time together with me and Leo and the whole Axis team in Latin America, bienvenidos. Let's.
Yes.